All right, what's good? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be comparing the Z Fold 5 S Pen case versus the Z Fold 6 S Pen case. So I actually just picked this up. If you saw my other video, I went to the Samsung store in Yorkdale and I picked this up and now I want to try it out and see how much thinner it actually is. So I'm going to give you a nice clean look at that and even test out some different functions like swiping or typing and just the overall feel. So, okay, so as far as the box goes, it's going to be normal for Samsung cases. You got all these papers and, you know, the instructions to put it on and stuff like that. Also, when you first get it, don't throw this away because it has your S Pen tip replacements inside here. So you're going to need that if you break your tip on your S Pen or it wears down and stuff like that. They're in here. So yeah, this is the case. Has the stickers. It tells you how to use the S Pen. And then obviously it has the adhesive covers so that it's fresh and unused. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to take the back of this off and then I'm just going to show you them side by side before they go on the phones to compare the thickness and the thinness. So yeah, this is what they're looking like side by side, you know, not on the phone. And it looks all right. Like the Fold 6 case definitely looks a lot thinner and, you know, smaller. The bump is protruding a lot more, but that's because the rest of the case is thinner than the other one. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see how it feels in the hand on the phone. But yeah, that's how they look in terms of, you know, thickness side by side, not on the phone. And then the S Pens, let's just take them out real quick just to compare them. It seems like the S Pens are exactly the same, just different colors. So I believe this should work. You put the Fold 5 S Pen in here and it works. So if you have a different one, you want to use a different color, then you should be good with that. Obviously the Fold 6 S Pen, I think, is built a little bit more. It's not exactly the same as this one, so it's more snug when you put it in and it feels like more secure and it won't just like randomly fall out. Whereas this one, maybe that might fall out because it's not as snug. So just be careful with that if you do switch them. But yeah, now let's put them on and let's see how they actually compare in the hand and the feel. And then we'll test out some different things like typing and stuff like that. So I just put it on and honestly, right off the bat, this definitely feels, you know, a lot slimmer. It feels way, I don't know how to explain it. It feels way more manageable than, you know, the case for this one. This one feels like a brick. Maybe it's partly the weight of the phone as well, but definitely feel-wise, it feels a lot more slimmer for sure. So now on the phones, you can see there's a difference from far away. They also added this little border right here. They're not protruding out the case, which is decent. Let me know if you like that better or not, if you just like the individual holes. But yeah, you can see the difference in the thickness right off the bat. And I mean, the Fold 6 is definitely slimmer in general, but yeah, the case is a lot more slimmer, bro. Like, it's a pretty significant difference for sure. But the quality, the materials, feels almost exactly the same. It's pretty identical. So you're getting like kind of the same case, but like a little bit more refined, a little more slimmed down. So now I'm going to type on each phone with the cover screen to see how comfortable it is, even with the case on. So let's go. Okay, so I just typing on the cover screen with the Z Fold phones. So now I'm going to test it with the Z Fold 5. And boom, right off the bat, this is definitely a little bit more comfortable, obviously, because it's a little bit wider with the screen size and just the thinness as well. Just, I don't know, it makes it feel nice. So, but you can definitely type on both of them. But this combo right here, the newer combo, the Fold 6 package, is just more comfortable with typing. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys. As far as like protection goes, like, you know, dropping your phone and stuff like that, personally, I feel like they're about the same. Like, even though this is slimmer and thinner and lighter, you know, you might feel like, oh, it's not going to protect the phone as much, but I honestly don't think that's the case. I feel like they'll protect the phone as good as each other. So now the front side is another question with the adhesives. What we're going to do is we're going to test out swiping on the phone and see, you know, how easy it is or how hard it is to swipe. This one already looks like a, you know, a Mount Everest type of edge, so swiping might be annoying, but we'll see. Okay, so first I'll do the Z Fold 6. I'm just going to go into a bunch of different things, and then I'll try 5 back swipes and see how easy it is, and if I have any issues back swiping 5 times in a row versus the other one. I know they're almost like of similar height, but, you know, just got to test it out for the science. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty easy. Let me get the edge panel now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So back swiping and edge panel, honestly, it doesn't really feel too bad. I don't like that you have to slide down, but right now it's all right. Okay, now Z Fold 5, here we go. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the edge panel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I did miss swiping, back swiping like 2 times, and there was actually one that I missed as well before I started. Like, look at that. This case, I think it is a bit higher, and the way that I don't know if you can tell on the camera, it's not exactly round over. Like, it has like a little ridge on the inside, and it goes around the whole frame, the whole inside of the case. It's easy for your finger to just swipe and continue going in that direction rather than swiping and going down like that, if that makes sense. Like, I'll show you an example. This one is round all the way through. It's round. So when you swipe, your finger falls off. If you see that motion, finger falls off from that side. Whereas with this one, like your finger kind of falls off, but it skips. Like it's very subtle. I'm gonna try my hardest to show you right here. If you swipe, your finger jumps over where you're supposed to swipe from. So you kind of have to like make an effort to put your finger in here and swipe like that if you want it to work. With the Fold 5 case, it jumps. As I said, with the Fold 6 case, it's a round circle. Your finger goes up and down, even without you thinking about it. It just happens naturally. That's what it feels like, at least. It is still like a bump, so you're definitely gonna have to think about swiping a little bit more than just without a case. So I don't know. I don't really like the bumps, but it does feel like a slight improvement. It's not anything crazy, but it is better than that. And then with the left side, honestly, for me, feels a little bit like way worse. I can barely even back swipe. I literally have to push down in to get it to work. And then you have this, then this side is stuck, and then this side is stuck with the adhesive. So there's a potential of it like breaking the adhesive or moving around. I don't know. I'm not used to swiping my left hand in one hand mode. So, you know, I'm making mistakes with the back swipe as well. But it does feel a little bit easier, like I said, because your finger rolls off, because it's kind of like a cylinder shape. So it's a little bit easier. But it is more difficult for me. So yeah, there's that. So now we're gonna test swiping from the bottom. This is another issue that I've had with Z Fold series cases. It's just, you know, the cases hinder your ability to properly swipe from the bottom. So let's just test it out. Swipe to the left, swipe to the right, left, right. That functionality seems pretty decent. Let me just do it with my right hand to get a proper comparison. So yeah, it feels pretty easy to do with my proper hand, my dominant hand. No issues with that. It's not that bad, but I don't, honestly, it feels uncomfortable when there's something there. Like you can't just start from the bottom of the screen. It feels a little bit uncomfortable, but maybe it's just me. Going from the Fold 6 case to the 5 case, it definitely feels less comfortable and more like this feels like a Grand Canyon, bro. Like you're going to the peak and then you're jumping in, and like it's very easy to miss, or it feels like it's easy to miss. It's definitely not as comfortable, so yeah, there's that. Again, the way that this is like a cylinder, it's round, makes it a lot easier. So I like that about that. So now we're gonna test opening up the phone and see how comfortable it feels. And yeah, so 1, 2, and closing as well. 3, 4, 5. And this feels really solid. Like it doesn't feel bulky. It doesn't feel too hard to open up. It feels easy to grip. So yeah, I have no problems with the Fold 6 S Pen case when it comes to opening. Then we're gonna do the 5 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one is not bad, and I could definitely grip on it, but it feels like, yeah, it's like coming off. Like as you can see here, it's like flexing off. Maybe that will happen with the other one over time, but yeah, this is definitely a lot more wobbly. It doesn't have, the backside normally doesn't have adhesives, and that also feels like it's moving a little bit. It doesn't feel as sturdy. But overall, it's pretty easy to open and close with this case as well, compared to the Fold 6's case. This one just feels better, and because it's so slim and closer to the phone's default form factor, it's just a nicer experience overall. And then just to compare, when you're on the inside, the Fold 6's case is a lot more stealthy. Like it's not protruding over as much. So it feels more seamless, like you don't have a case on it. So that's pretty nice. This one, it kind of cups over like the outside. Not as much, obviously, but it's definitely going over a little bit, and it doesn't feel as seamless as like attached to the phone as the Fold 6 case does. So yeah, that's that comparison right there with the inside. Overall, the Fold 6 case is a thinner profile, and it's just, in my opinion, nicer. It's a good upgrade if you're gonna get this case. Just giving you some shots of side by side, you know, opened up. You can see how thick the Fold 5's case is. Then with the USB-C ports, obviously both of them are open. The buttons are open, so you should have no issues with those things on either one of them. All right, so now we're gonna check wireless charging with both of them. You should have no issues with both of them with wireless charging as long as you can line it up properly. So with this one, you gotta line up the Z Fold series like kind of around here. I think it should be the same area for the wireless charging coil, but yeah, we're just gonna test it out to show you that it works. So boom, put it on. I'll leave it for like 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still charging. And it says 2 hours and 27 minutes until fully charged. It's pretty slow wireless charging, but it's functional and it works. Now, Z Fold 6 with the S Pen case. Boom, it works. And then again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still charging, still works nice. And as you can see, the wallpaper is always on display now, which I really love. I'm happy that they brought that over to this phone. But yeah, wireless charging definitely works on these cases, so should have no issues as long as you can line it up. And just for the people who have cars that have wireless chargers, the wireless charging works with this case in my Tesla, and I'm assuming it'll work with this one as well because it's thinner, so it should be, in theory, better for wireless charging. So yeah, wireless charging is not an issue. Just a little update on the adhesive, messing around, you know, with the case. This is already lifting and hopping over, so this is not a good sign. I don't know, this part of cases in general for these phones is just something that manufacturers just haven't figured out. And there's like not a lot of space, I guess. This is an issue I had with the OnePlus Open as well. So yeah, you just got to be careful with these cases. When it comes to the adhesives on the frame side, just watch that because it can scratch your phone. The one nice thing though about the Z Fold 6 is that this area is a lot smaller in comparison to, you know, previous generations. There's not a lot for cases to scratch. So even if it does get scratched, it's a smaller area and it won't look as bad. But yeah, you don't want your cases scratching. So okay, so next I'm gonna test table rocking and see how these cases are with like being on the table and stuff like that when they're flat. So Z Fold 6, this one definitely rocks a little bit on this side. It's not terrible at all compared to how it is by default without a case, but it definitely still rocks. Obviously, if you push on this side, it's gonna be drastic. However, the Z Fold 5 case, this is sturdy. It does not rock when it's on the back like this. Because of how flat it is, it's literally just like a little lip. Kind of like a keyboard, how it's raised on one end so that it's flat. That's exactly how this one is, so it doesn't rock at all. Obviously, if you push hard enough, you can get it to flip over, but it doesn't rock that much. So Z Fold 5 case is definitely better in that regard. But you can see as we're here, the thickness. Another look at the side profiles. Let's just get another look at the side profiles, and as you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but like you can see the difference in the way that the bezels curve over. So if you look right here, you can see how this is kind of like a ridge or like a slant. It goes down. It's like an incline. I don't know if you can tell. Whereas this one is more like a circle, like I've been saying. It's more like a cylinder. It just goes over. And then this one is slanted. It goes down like a slide. Obviously, it's not that serious. I'm going kind of in detail with these cases, but when you're using a $3,000 phone in Canada and you want to buy a case, I think these little things matter a lot. They impact your experience overall because you're going to be using this day to day. So how it swipes and all that stuff, the thickness, I think it matters in my opinion. So yeah, that's basically it for these cases. Stay tuned. If I continue using this case, I will do a long-term review, an update. Can't give you a full review on this case because I feel like phone cases in general, you need long-term reviews. You can't just say like, oh yeah, this case is good, and then people buy it and it's actually not good long-term. Like a lot of these cases break within like a couple weeks. So yeah, if I use it, then I'll give you a full review on this case and how it's been. But if not, then I'll probably let you know. So subscribe for that, stay updated. This is the Z Fold 6 and the Z Fold 5 S Pen cases comparison. A lot more comparisons between both of these phones coming on the way though. So make sure you stay subscribed. Consider becoming a member as well so you can support with getting all these devices and creating this content. We out. Peace.